Hello, can you hear me, all of you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's start today's session. So in the last session, we were discuss about basic introduction to REST API. So last session was the first session of REST API, and this is the second session of REST API. Django REST Framework, or we can say DRF. So before continue in this session, so with the new topics, so let's discuss within few minutes what I discussed in the last session. So I discussed in the last session basics of REST API, and I have prepared clearly documentation also, whatever I discussed in the last session. Just I'm going to open the documentation. This is the first session of Django REST framework. I'll send to you this documentation also. Just observe here. I'm going to read out so each and every point which I discussed in the last session, and after that we will continue. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. So what it is going to be transferred, I will tell you. It is completely representational state transfer. This is REST API in the sense. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. API is a software that enables communication between the two or more applications. As we discussed in the last session, main purpose of APIs are to provide communication from two or more applications clearly. That can be a different technologies or same technologies. That means homogeneous communication or heterogeneous communication. So generally, when we use an application on your mobile phone, the application connected to the internet and sends the data to the server. And the server then retrieves the data and interprets the data and performs the necessary actions and sends it back to your phone. So for this, API is going to be act as a mediator. So the application then interprets that data and present you with the information what the way you wanted in readable format. That is, application can interpret your data. This is all doing by using an API only here. Okay, it's happened through API only. So Django REST is a powerful Django based framework that the developer uses to create APIs only. So is there any other APIs, not only Django REST framework? Yes, we have other APIs also. I'll explain you what are the other than DRF, like Django REST API. So what are the other frameworks are there which is used to create APIs? But I'm going to explain you in our session completely Django REST framework only. So Django REST framework lets you create a RESTful APIs, REST framework or RESTful API also you can call it as. It is going to provide the way to transfer information between interface and database in a simple format. Okay, as I said that REST stands for Representational State Server. It is used for web-based architecture for data communication. So what is REST here? REST is an architecture style. It is not a protocol. So the API which is used to create by following REST architecture style, that is called REST API or RESTful APIs, we can say that. But this REST API, I'm going to prepare for Django web application purpose. That's the reason I'm saying that Django REST framework or DRF we can call it as, or else Django REST API we can say. DRF is an open source, flexible, and fully featured library with modular and customizable architecture that aims at building web APIs and uses Python and Django. So our main motto is by using REST framework with the Django application, web application purpose, APIs I want to create. But to create Django APIs, you need to install Django REST framework in your computer. But before going to install, compulsory you need to install Python software as well as Django framework software. These two softwares are compulsory required to continue with DRF creations. Django REST framework through, if you want to create an APIs, so Python software is need and Django framework is required. And after that, you have to install, that is Django, what we can say, REST framework. That is REST framework we have to install. PIP space install space Django REST framework. You have to type it in your command prompt. That automatically it will install clearly. I will show you the installation steps clearly whenever I start the application here. Okay. So what are the advantages of DRF? Also we discussed in the last session. As I said, that DRF allows that flexibility to extend and customize the framework's tools according to programmers' demands. That greatly reduces the development time. It also provides the support of testing and debugging and caching of your programs. And simplicity, flexibility, quality, and test coverage of source code, and powerful serialization engine compatible with both ORM and non-ORM data resources, object relational mapper, or else non-object relational mapper data sources. Compatible serialization engine is available. So serialization is nothing but transform the data from one resource to another resource. For example, whenever we send a request to the server will give the data. Okay, that data can be converted into JSON format or XML format, that is serializable. Object data can be converted into JSON or XML format, which is going to display to the end user window. So we are going to mostly JSON format, we are going to use, even XML format also. And REST API advantage is what, this will provide normal HTML data and the XML data and also plain text and JSON format. Any format you can able to represent data to the end user. Okay. So, and generic classes for CRUD operation purpose, we have CRUD operation purpose, generic classes are there, and clean and simple views for resources using Django's class-based views. And as I discussed in the last session, again, there are the different types of APIs are there: private API, partner API, public API. Okay, these are the types of API. Private API means it can be used within the organization. So, okay, no other third-party partners or third-party developers cannot be used this API. Within the limited usage purpose, within the same application, multiple persons can be used this API within the organization. And partner API means it can be used within the business partners. Okay, it can be used within the business partners only. So as I said that in the last session, business partners means many applications can be collaborate for doing their business, accepting the request from various clients to provide services to them. Okay, company to company, and same multiple companies will have the same related customers. We have to provide the information from your companies. So that is business partners API we have to create. And public API means it can be used any third-party developers, no issues at all. Anyone can be used. Most of the cases in reality, third-party developers can be third-party developers only, because many of the users can able to interact with websites, and for that, public APIs can be useful here. So this is what I discussed in the last session. Just a basic idea I have given in the session one. Now I'm just closing this documentation completely. I'm going to discuss today new things, what I'm going to cover in this today's session. Let's try to do this one. So in this session, what I'm trying to cover here, okay, in this session, so I'm going to discuss what are the different methods are available for API mechanism. So actually the API, REST API is going to follow HTTP methods only. Yes, compulsory REST API is going to follow HTTP methods only. So what methods are available and how to work with them, I'm going to discuss you. Then after that, I will go through that, how to download, how to install REST API, Django REST framework in our computer. We will discuss in detail. But before that, what I'm trying to do here, REST API HTTP methods I'm going to explain you. So what are the REST API HTTP methods for basic CRUD operations? Okay. For example, you can see before going to continue that, and whatever we are sending the request, that is HTTP method through only we have to do that. So generally basic CRUD operations we are going to perform. So basic CRUD operation. So basic CRUD operation means C for create. Create means to create the record or to store the data somewhere. So R for read actually here. Read means retrieve the data or retrieve the records or retrieve the resources from database. U for update here. Update. Updating the data or updating the records. So I'm taking here update. Update. Then D for delete. Deleting the resources. Deleting the resources. Now here, these are the operations which I'm doing, but here I'm taking create purpose. We use HTTP method that is called post method. What method we have to use? Post method. So creating or posting or inserting the data purpose we use this is. So creating a record or posting a record, posting a record, posting a record, or inserting a record, inserting a record purpose we use this is. Post method. This is HTTP method. For doing what? Basic CRUD operation here. For doing basic CRUD operation. And reading purpose, what we use, what method we use, get method is there. Get. So get means what actually reading or getting or retrieving data. Anyone we can say it. Reading data or getting data or retrieving data. Anything you can say that. Retrieving data. And update purpose, what we use? Yes, we have two methods are there, put and patch method is there. Put and patch method. And updating data means to modify the records. Okay. So complete updation if you want, then we can use put. Complete updation. So complete updation purpose or fully update. Better to take fully update record. Fully update purpose, we use put method. And partial update purpose, we use patch method. This is partial update, not some portion of the record. If you want to modify, then we can use patch method. That is partial update purpose, we use this. And if you want to fully update the record, then we can use put method. And there is a delete operation purpose we use. What method we have? Delete method we have. This is delete method. So deleting the data or removing the data. Okay, deleting data or removing data from database or some removing data. These are all basic methods are available. These are all HTTP methods. So in general, while working with API using Django REST framework, so for doing these basic operations, we are going to use this HTTP methods only. Post, creating or posting or inserting, get, reading or getting or retrieving data, put and patch, fully update purpose put method, partial update purpose patch method. And delete means deleting data or removing data, we can say that. Okay, yes. So I'm saying that here you can see REST stands for representational state server. I can say that. Previously I said that. Representational state server, state server, state server, state transfer, sorry. Representational state transfer, we can say that. REST stands for representational state server. So generally, whenever I'm going to send a request, who is going to send a request? Client is going to send a request to the server. And here it is, server is there. So client is going to accept us, server is going to accept the server request and server data purpose. For example, I'm going to set as a client. I'm going to send as a client to the server. What request I'm sending for getting any restaurant details. Okay, suppose here you can see restaurant name and restaurant location, restaurant location, restaurant location, and these details, restaurant rating. So these details I want. So for these details, I'm going to send a request. Okay. So whenever we send request for restaurant details, server can create, can create object for these details. So we are going to send state of the object here. State of the object I'm going to send for the server. State of the object only. State of the object. So that is the reason we are saying this. This is representational state transfer, we can say that. Here, every time we are not going to create an object here. Okay, every time server is not going to be create object for sending the data, but rather than state of the object details are going to send to the client only. So that is what here REST stands for, representational state transfer. This state of the object can be transferred to the client. So because of client is sending request for restaurant details, so this restaurant details we are sending, but total state of object we are sending this is. So this is what actually REST API through we are going to get. How we are sending request, what details we are getting here. Okay, this is the API. API is act as a now client is sending here API. So API will send the request to server, and server will give the state of the object to the API. API will send the response to client only. Here API we are going to use in this case API. So application programming interface. Okay. For example, normal request how we can send. Generally, normal request how we can send. For example, durgasoft.com website is there. Okay, durgasoft.com website is there. Suppose www.durgasoft durgasoft.com. This is the official website for Durgasoft. Suppose here normal request it is. So whenever I www.durgasoft.com means you will get open the page, and in that trainer details or student details I want. Generally trainer details you will get. So how we can get API? This is the name, convention, and trainers details I want to get. Trainers I'm taking. So this is what exactly this is www.durgasoft. This we can call it as base URL. Okay, so here I'm just giving number 1, and here it is number 2, and it is number 3. So just I'm giving numbers. Now observe here, first number indicates that is actually base URL, we can say that uniform research locator. And next one is, it is not compulsory, it is optional. That is the name indicates API. So this is the name convention, name of the API we can call it as. Second one is name of the API. Just for name convention purpose, it is not compulsory required. And next one is trainers is there, /trainers. So what I'm sending request here, trainer details here. So this is nothing but what resource of your API, or else we can call it as endpoint. So this is called endpoints, we can say that. Endpoint or resource of API, we can say that. This is. So www.durgasoft.com/API/trainers. I want to get trainer details here. So this is base URL for which website, and this is name, and this is trainers list. So it is endpoint or resource of API, we can say that. So trainers means total data I'm going to retrieve here clearly. Total data I'm going to retrieve. So for example, I want to request for all trainers. So this is the case. All trainers means what we need to do. So I'm going to request for all trainers means, so all trainers details I want. How to all trainer details. So the request is look like only all trainer details purpose request, how to send request get method. So now we can see here get is nothing but what, reading the data or getting the data or retrieving the data. So what data I need from this durgasoft.com website? Trainers data. So I'm sending request. What request I'm sending here? So after durgasoft.com get method I'm going to use. Through get method what I'm taking /API/trainers I'm taking. That means what, you will get all trainers list. So all trainers list here. Through API I'm sending request. But now, as I said that whenever as a client we are sending request to server, so durgasoft.com server is going to respond, but we are sending request through API. So API/trainers. So trainer list I'm going to get from this server. Server will give response in the format of what? JSON or XML or HTML or plain text. So for example, it is available in JSON format. So JSON format means what response is going to display, the response is going to be displayed like this only, response. How response is going to display JSON format? So I'm going to represent the JSON format, that is trainer ID, like TID I'm taking. TID is nothing but trainer ID. This is dictionary format. Trainer ID equals to 1. Next trainer name, suppose trainer name is Mohan. I'm giving trainer name is Mohan. So all the trainer list, not only one trainer list here. Okay, this is all the trainer list. Similarly, we can go for next trainer ID. So TID, trainer ID, that is 2. Then trainer name, you can say any name of the trainer. Suppose here I'm taking Durga is the trainer name. So this is what trainer details are coming. So we are sending request for all. So request is get API/trainers. So response is coming like this only. What format it is? JSON format it is coming. Like it is dictionary format, JSON. We will discuss whenever I start application, you will come to know that what format it is going to be displayed. This is request and response we are sending. For example, okay, request for only particular trainer, not all trainers. So in durgasoft.com, there are so many trainers are available. We are sending request for all trainers only here by using my endpoint or my resource here. This is resource or URL, we can say that. So next, what I'm trying to do, I'm going to send a request for particular trainer. Trainer ID is 1. For example, next what I'm taking request is request. That is get request I'm taking. Get request slash API slash trainers ID equals to 1. Okay, trainers where I'm taking what ID equals to 1 means /1 I'm taking. This is 1. ID equals to 1. So which trainer ID is going to be represent as a response here? Response, colon, response, colon. It is only available which trainer response is coming here, JSON format. That is, this trainer ID only is going to this. This is only ID number. TID is 1 only. Because I mentioned clearly 1. Okay, request and response is going to happen like this only. For example, if you want to create, this is only getting the data. Getting the data means we use what method? Get method. This HTTP method, we have to use it. Okay, this is read operation. Get means read. Normally in Django, we were discussed already for all these CRUD operations. C for create, R for read, update, and delete. So, but I'm talking about the instead in the context of REST API format, which methods are used suitable methods like HTTP methods, post, get, put, patch, delete. So we are getting all the trainers list. This is one, and we are getting particular trainer list. This is one in the JSON format. Even in XML format also, we can represent the data, or even you can represent the plain text format also, you can represent the data. Now sending that request, inserting the data I'm doing. So how to insert the data here? Yes. So I'm going to send request data, inserting purpose. Now you can see request, insert purpose, which method I have to use? Post method. Okay, post. Then API/API. Then after that, what I'm taking? Trainers, which I'm going to insert. Trainers, I'm going to insert. Trainers. Request this is. So what I'm trying to do this, and trainer name I'm going to insert. This is what format I'm going to insert here. Suppose here name equals to Manoj is the trainer name, for example. This I'm going to insert. But response is going to be displayed in what actually response. Whenever we try to read that response, again trainer ID will be created, that is TID colon ID number 3, because already 1 2 is there. Then trainer name is what actually Manoj. Trainer name is Manoj. This is response. Here we are using post method for going to insert the data here. This is insert purpose. We use this post method. Observe here, post for creating or posting or inserting the data. Get is clear, post is clear. Now, if you want to update the data, that means modification of records. If you want to modify the record, then what we need to do that? Where ID based updation is required. You know very well in the last sessions of Django, we were discussed for updation purpose, deletion purpose, based on ID, we have to do that. So wherever you want, you cannot do that. So which ID you want to update, which ID you want to delete, that IDs only we have to update and delete. Okay, yes. So we are going to use request here for updating request. For request purpose, which method I'm going to use? Put method or patch method I'm going to use. Put or patch method. Then here you can see class API, which trainer updation is required, that trainer updation we have to do that. Trainer slash ID number 1 I want update. Okay, ID number 1 update means ID number 1 is actually trainer ID's name is Mohan. But I don't want to do this trainer name is Mohan. I want to update this trainer name. Suppose trainer name is I'm giving different name. I'm giving Satya. I'm taking whatever the name I'm taking. Satya. This is the trainer name. This ID number 1 trainer name is going to be changed. Instead of Mohan, this name is going to be updated here. So as an update, as a response, what it is going to be there later, whenever we try to do response, the updated result you will get. Updated result will be what actually? TID colon 1, that is, okay. Then name, that is what actually? SATYA. Because we have done updation clearly. SATYA, this is updation. This is request and response. Finally, I'm going to do deletion. Request for delete method we have to use. Delete is a method for HTTP method for deleting the record. Then slash API we have to use, and which trainers you want to delete, that trainer's ID we have to mention. Then I'm going to delete, and in response what we will get actually? In response, trainer ID is deleted. So without this, only two details trainers are going to display here. What response is coming like this? TID1 name is Manoj. Okay. Trainer ID 2 deleted here. Trainer ID 2 is deleted. Only second ID will not be deleted. First ID is updated. These methods are there here. HTTP methods. Post means creating, get means reading, put or patch means fully update and partial update patch method. Delete means to deleting or removing data from database. Using API only it is possible. These methods I'm going to use are API. Yes, I will create same way I'm going to create in Django project API I'm going to create. You people know already how to create Django project and application, and how to install that application into settings.py, and how to create model, and how to register that model into admin panel, and how to go to admin panel by creating super user, and there how to insert the data, all those things. Yes or no? So all those things I will do same thing, but rather than that, I'm going to take one separate Python file. That file name is called serializers.py. When I create serializers.py file, in that I'm going to use my REST API stuff for doing this all operations. You will see that clearly what data, how to data representation, how to modification by using post method, get method, patch method, put method, delete method, all these things. So these are the basic methods of RESTful API or REST API in Django REST framework completely. So what are the requirements if you want to start your REST API application? Okay. So these are the basic methods. Basic methods. Once you got this basic method idea, okay. So how this is very important, sir, which I'm telling. This is your web address, basic URL it is, and API, it is a name convention, and this is what actually endpoint or resource of API, in which resource you are going to be target, which resource you are going to send request and get response from. So this is resource of API. We can say that this is trailer. And once I create API of like this resource, you can type in anywhere www.durgasofт.com/API/trainers, means anyone can get trainer list in what format? JSON format into their computer. Okay, this is the case actually here. But next, what I'm trying to show you how to install DRF. Okay, install DRF. But to install DRF, what we need to do? Command we need to do that. So DRF in the sense Django REST framework. So let me show you here how to install DRF Django REST framework. It is very simple actually. So go to command prompt pip space install space Django REST framework. We have to say that Django REST framework. But before that, I strongly recommend to install Python software as well as Django framework software. Already in my computer, I have Python software and Django software with me. So, and if you don't have Python and Django framework, please do it immediately before going to continue this Django REST framework installation. So how to install Django REST framework in your computer? Pip space install space Django REST framework. But before going to continue this, what I recommend? So I recommend to install Python and Django. But do you want to check whether in my computer Python as well as Django is available or not already? Yes, you can go through, check it here. How to check? simple Python space hyphen version. So yes, I have Python 3.9.7 version is there. Okay, Python 3.9.7 version. And next, if you want to check Django hyphen admin space hyphen version. Yes, I have Django version also 3.2.8. Now, if you want to install pip space install space Django REST framework, then you can type it here pip space install space Django REST framework. I'm trying to install this REST framework. So when we try to install, then see what will happen. Collecting Django REST framework, downloading REST framework 3.12.4. So it will take time to install. This is the way to install. First, before installing this command, pip space install space Django REST framework. So please try to check Python version, okay? Python version and Django version. If you have already Python and Django, then you can able to install this Django REST framework clearly here. So successful installing Django REST framework 3.12.4. So warnings are coming, no issues at all, no issues. That is not a big deal here, warnings. So this is the way to install Django REST framework. Simple command through we have to use. In case if you want to create or start your Django REST framework application, one API, if you want to start, first you have to do this. Then later you have to follow some procedures. What procedures? As usual, how we create Django project in previous session. Okay. So, and how to create Django project, you know, how to create application in that project, you know, how to register that application in installed app, you know, and after that you have to create the models and views and APIs, all those things, regular procedure you have to follow that. But make sure that after successful installation of Django framework, you have to go to Django project. First of all, you can go to Django project, Django project, Django project. Go to Django project of settings.py file, settings.py file. Inside the settings.py file, you people know that many times we discuss like installed apps will be there, installed apps. Inside the installed apps, then what we have to do here, you have to include what we have to include, Django REST framework, REST underscore framework we have to install this we have to register. Then only your Django project can support REST framework libraries, all those things we can able to create the REST API clearly here. This is the case exactly here. Okay, and let's go to command prompt once. I want to check. So what are the things are available in my computer? Pip space for each command I'm going to use. Now you can see this, what versions are there? Django 3.2.8 and Django REST framework 3.1.2. MySQL client is there. TJ is there. That is time zone. SQL part 0.42 and ASGIRF. That means this is asynchronous server gateway interface reference 3.4.1 is there. These are the things which we have, but all the things are not required. Only Django framework is enough, and Python software is required. Django software is required. This is the way to check what are the installation things in our computer right now here. Okay, these are the steps need to be involved to create the application API, Django API into your computer here. Okay, so as I said that many times, application API means application programming interface. Okay, so this is belongs to software only. Yes, it is a software or intermediary software that makes communication between multiple application, communication between multiple devices. For example, as I said that previously, many examples I said, Swiggy application. For example, even you can take what can say Ola cabs, Uber cabs uses Google Maps, you know. Yes, Google Maps. So Google Maps API, because they always want to location of the person who is going to who were booked the vehicle, and they always need to show that person location of vehicle in their user and Ola apps. That means Google Maps is going to be act as an API here between Uber and Ola apps, between two end user only. So that is the API concept is coming to the picture clearly here. Okay, yes. So next, what I'm trying to do, normal request and API request, how it will be here. Okay, So normal request and API request, how it will be look like. So before going to take API request and response, normal request, how it is there. So API is allows two application communicate with each other over the internet. Normally, API is allows us to communicate the two applications over the internet and through various devices. Devices can be any device, mobile or laptop or computer or any other location. Also, we can able to. Every time you should access the app like Facebook or any weather applications or any online applications, shopping carts like this through smartphone, then APIs are mandatory to use here. And what APIs are mandatory to use? RESTful APIs only here. So RESTful API is an architecture style for application program interface. For normal request, actually client will send request, it will connect to particular website server and server will give response only. That is normal request. But here API request means what actually? Client will send request to the server, server will give response. Client will send request to API, API will connect to server, server will give response to the API in what format? XML or JSON format only it is going to be there. XML or JSON format only here. Okay. So JSON or XML format, it is an open format. What is JSON? XML or JSON format is open database. It can be suitable for any technology. It's open database means any format it can be understood. For example, MySQL or other formats if we use, then might be other technologies cannot be communicate with that data. Yes, there is a possibility. But why JSON and XML? JSON and XML is open databases. These are open platform. These are so this can be used for any platform. It can be work on it. Any platform it can be work on it. And one more important thing, when we send request to server through API. So here this API is I mentioned, no, this is not compulsory required. It is not optional. So what is compulsory means this is an optional. Endpoint is optional. Endpoint or the resource must be what we can say present here only. After resource or endpoints, you can give any data also. For example, trainer slash ID. This ID number one means ID number one trainer only will get the details. These are the cases here. Okay. So create these methods you can strictly remember. Create method related to post, read method related to get, update, put, patch, delete method. These methods are useful methods to our location. And in one more important thing, these endpoints must be unique actually. You should not change these endpoints here. Sometimes we can use trainer, sometimes you can use trainer, or sometimes you can use .NET trainer or Python trainer. You should not be like this only. Where different endpoints you should not create. So it is typical to handle the API data here. Why? Because every time different endpoints if we are using, then it is managing the data, retrieving the data is typical. So better to use common data, common endpoint for all the same resources, because resource is same, but we are getting the different users. For example, create user purpose, we should use create trainers like this. Insertion purpose, update purpose, update trainers, we should use like this. This is not correct. Okay, every time we have to send a request for update trainer only. Only trainers means you can get trainers only clearly. So that is easily we can able to manage this. So ultimately, who will decide that updating or deleting or inserting or these methods, HTTP methods will decide. If we use post method means we are creating, get method means reading, put method means updating, delete method means deleting. So that's what we should not give here only update trainers or else delete trainers or else insert trainers. We should not give the endpoint names are different. So common or unique names I'm going to refer here. Okay. So these are what methods, and this is completely address, which API address completely, the base URL, name, endpoint resources, which method is for which purpose. I'm just explaining this case only here. And JSON is the standard format. Every API is going to be connected respective server. Server will give response in JSON format, XML format, because JSON and XML is open standard formats. It can be displayed the data to the any customer or any client in the common format. Everybody can understand here. Okay. Yes. Next, another thing is, sir, we are working with it right now Django framework. DRF only here. DRF. First one is DRF, Django framework. But is that only this framework, Django framework, not other framework? Yes. So why we are going to prefer Django framework here? Django REST is a powerful Django based framework that the developer uses to create the APIs. In Django REST, okay, so REST is architectural communication, architectural pattern, you know that. So that HTTP request is used here. In Django DRF technique, HTTP request is used to call between different missions or different request and response. So there are methods, are there 4 standard methods, which I explained already. These are the 4 standard methods only here. Next, what framework is there? No, yes, it provides simplest way to create rich APIs. DRF will provide actually simplest way to create rich APIs. We can install Django REST framework by using pip command only easily. And most important thing is, for installing Django framework in your computer, Python 3.5 above version is required. Okay, I have Python 3.9.7. Strictly remember, Python 3.5 above version is required to install. In your computer, but below it may not work out. So Django must be installed in your computer, Django and Python, then only you can able to use Django REST framework. So next here, next framework also there, not only DRF, there is a Flask framework is there here. Flask framework, Flask REST framework, we can say that. Flask REST framework. What is the difference between Flask REST framework and Django REST framework? Flask REST framework is the same as Django REST framework, only it is used to build API very fastly compared to DRF. And Flask is completely a lightweight framework. It is only suitable for very small scale applications, not big scale applications like Django, MVC pattern, model view template based applications. It is not suitable. Okay, Flask is another REST framework. Okay, and not only DRF, Django REST framework, Flask REST framework also there. So, but Flask is lightweighted and it is suitable only for small scale projects only. It is not going to suitable for our MBT pattern based application. And Flask is going to support representing the data in XML format, CSV format, HTML format. Okay, it is very lightweight framework and it is easy to install, and it provides default security for the applications, data integrity checks, and the custom fields input based on the data type. It comes with the representation of XML format, CSV format, HTML format like this. And as I said that it can't be used MVC project, MVT projects, model view template project. Okay, so it is flexible, but it may not be useful for huge applications. Very small application is possible. One more is there, that is there are different frameworks are there here. What are the another framework here? So for example, Pyramid is there here. Yes, Pyramid is one of the framework here. Pyramid. Pyramid is the hybrid web framework that acts as a bridge between Django and Flask. It can be used in both types of project, like small projects as well as bigger projects. Pyramid. It is also one of the framework which can be used rapidly. And most important thing is, nowadays in real time, most of the people are using that is called Fast API. You know that we are working with right now REST API, but there is a Fast API is available. So Fast API is rapidly used application a programming interface in real time now. As the name suggests that what actually Fast API is the fastest and high performing Python framework for building application program interface. The framework can develop API. This framework can develop APIs 200 to 300% more faster compared to these existing frameworks. I think so. After Django framework, mostly you have to upgrade it with this fast framework only, fast API only. When we go to in real time implementation, this fast API is recommendable API only here. So other than DRF, we have this APIs are there. And even we have another thing that is called Cherry Pie is there. Cherry Pie is the minimum or minimal web framework, and it is object oriented. Yes, it is completely object oriented. The primary goal or primary intention of Cherry Pie is to provide faster development, and it is what are the important feature means it is object oriented programming, and it comes with a lot of built-in tools for authentication and static data content and caching and session mechanism, because object oriented it is. So these are the, apart from Django REST framework, we have Flask REST framework, Pyramid, Fast API, Cherry Pie. These are all Python related. That's what I'm using. But even you can go for Java REST API, .NET REST API, PHP REST API, any other REST APIs. The REST is a common for everywhere, any technology. But these are basically which is Python related APIs I'm speaking. But I'm not recommending to you to learn all this API. Okay, not required. Just I'm going to teach you this here only DRF Django REST framework only. Just to concentrate Django REST framework. That's enough for our application orientation. And whenever you go to you just understand Django REST framework, then automatically whenever if you go to real-time job orientation, might be they will recommend to work on fast API. For sure, you can strictly remember my word. So fast API they will ask, but in future maybe I used to I'll plan to teach that fast API what things are there, but it is a very simple, and this is advanced of Django REST framework. I think so. This is fast API. So fast API is, as I said, that 200 to 300% more faster rate APIs we can able to implement by using this fast API only here. Okay. So this is about basic methods of REST API, and how to install this REST framework, and what is the REST framework URL we have to use, and which style of URL we have to give, and what methods are available clearly, which I'm discussing here. And most important feature is what actually clear documentation is there, REST API documentation, and even it will provide any, generally when we send request to the API, that API is responsible to transfer our request to server. If server is not in a position to provide service, then same the error message will transfer to the client. That is the important advantage or feature, that is error messages will send to the client through REST API only. And here it is simpler compared to SOAP protocol. Previously that was before REST, then there was a SOAP protocol is there. So using SOAP protocol is having some strict rules that you need to follow. Okay, so communication is somewhat typical, and the bandwidth is high bandwidth is required. And here whenever we go for REST API, this is low bandwidth resources. Easily we can able to communicate. Implementation also compared to SOAP API, SOAP RESTful services, this is simple actually compared to SOAP protocol. Using REST API is a very simple way to develop an API concept here. So there are so many principles are there. It is completely stateless. Yes, REST API is completely stateless, and it is completely client server architecture. But it is what we can say cacheable mechanism, means your data can be able to cache. Cache is a temporary memory for the client at server side. We can able to do it, no issue at all. So this is completely application programming interface. Just we cover basics only. And in tomorrow session, what I will do, I will start with my Django project. And before that, you must and should aware, and most of them are here my students only. You know very well, because we have completed Python and Django, how you create a Django project, and how to create application under the project, how to install the application inside the settings.py, this is common things. But other than that, I'm going to introduce you tomorrow some serializable concept, serializer.py file I'm going to introduce, because of through that only we are going to create a REST API. One small API I'm going to create, and that API I can able to run on different location, so that you will get the details anywhere. Even you can use that API address into your computer, we can able to get that clearly, any browser, no issues at all. Okay, that is the case exactly here. So that I will show you in tomorrow's session. And don't miss tomorrow's session. I'm going to show you how to installation things, and how to work with Django project, how to create a simple API, and how to manage your data, by creating model, by logging into admin panel, by creating super user and administrator registration, all those things I will tell you in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that's it for today, and remaining things will continue in tomorrow. And so far, 2 sessions completed and 2 session material and uh, video recording I will send to your Google Drive. So I have some mail IDs with my old students. So these are the mail IDs available. Where it is, these are the mail IDs. I will send that recording videos and material session 1, session 2 to this mails only. And those who are not my students, please register with this course by contact to DURGASOFT people, and you can register, and you will also get this session 1 Django REST API framework. This is session 1 material, session 2 material I'll prepare and I'll send to you along with recording video to your Google Drive, and you can download that videos and material also. So that's it for today. So I'll see you in tomorrow's session. And tomorrow's session, I'll show you practical implementation, how to create an API by using Django framework with Python script with serializer class-based views I'm going to use. As I said that compulsory, you must and should aware function-based views, class-based views in Django, and class and object-oriented programming. Okay, these basic things, modules concept is compulsory required. So to learn Django REST API. If you don't know Python and Django, don't continue with this batch. Don't waste your time. Okay. So that's it for today. If you have any question, feel free to ask me now. Yes. See you tomorrow. Have a nice time.